Imagine you're a fisherman, and every spring you and 100 other fishermen just like you go out and catch your fish for the season. Some years you have really high yields of fish that were caught, and some years the yield is not as big, but still decent. Some years a fish come out early in the season, and some years it's a bit later, but the fishing season is almost always well defined within the year. You can rely on it and expect to make the catch. Well, what happens if one year there are significantly fewer fish biting on the lines, and instead of just 100 other fishermen, there are 200 fishermen trying to catch fish all in the same waters? It doesn't matter if you have the newest fishing lures, the biggest boat, you've tried every bait out there, and while you can see the fish out there on the water, very few of them seem to be biting on the lines. Maybe they're not hungry. Maybe they're actually asleep. But as a fisherman, you want to and need to catch fish. So you just keep casting your line out and leaving your bait out there for longer and longer, hoping to catch a bite. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the state of Toronto real estate right now, where the sellers are fishermen who seemingly can't catch a fish in a lake full of them. The buyers or fish are out there, we can see them from our boat, but they simply are not biting. And instead of the typical 100 fishermen that you as a seller might be competing with to get the fish, there are significantly more. Not double the sellers, but enough that when you compare against how many sales or deals are actually coming together, it's clear that you're vying for buyers' attention. And here's how that's looked this past May. Active listings are up over 40% across the GTA, while sales are down over 13%. Average prices have come down about 4% year over year across the GTA. The real estate market is struggling more in the 905, with sales transactions down for all property types. The property type that is most impacted by this market downturn is condo apartments, with sales down 25% in both the 905 and 416. I don't expect to see much improvement over the next 6 months in the condo market due to the number of condo completions still on the way and the amount of investment in that property type. Overall, the market is less volatile in the 416, which I would allude is due to having larger buyer pools, lower overall inventory, and wealthier home buyers. There's not very much good news related to real estate right now. The MLS has the highest active listings in over 25 years. Power of sale listings are at a 5-year high. We have the biggest gap on record between supply and demand, and unemployment is at levels we haven't seen since 2012. Those are all very unpleasant headlines for the real estate market, and as we move forward, I run concerned that we're going to accelerate to negative momentum. Toronto real estate is frozen. Homes are sitting longer, many being relisted with reduced pricing, which you'd think would be enough to get buyers moving again, but most buyers are still parked firmly on the sidelines. While home buyers will say it's all about affordability and economic uncertainty, which it definitely is, reverse or negative momentum is also having a hand at keeping the market down. It's actually changed lack of buyer action to something a little bit more. The lack of movement in the market has made some home buyers second guess whether buying even makes sense. It's wondering whether taking on more mortgage makes sense, and whether owning real estate is a good investment. Since no one else seems to be doing anything, maybe I shouldn't either. Markets tend to move with herd mentality, but anyone who's done some investing knows you will do very well when, as Warren Buffett says, you're fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. The thing is, no one's feeling urgency right now. Rates aren't climbing, prices aren't climbing, and there's no pressure to act. So buyers are just avoiding thinking about it. And with the few that are moving, they're rethinking what value means to them. Contrary to the market of 2 to 4 years back, where you could only visit a property once and had to make a quick, life-changing decision whether a home worked or not, this very slow market is allowing real home buyers an opportunity to dissect all the positives and negatives of a home and really nitpick on why a home does or does not work. You know, most of us know there's no perfect home, but many of this season's home buyers seem to be trying to get as close to perfection as possible. For me, I can see it's sort of a delay tactic. The market doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon, and as more time passes, sellers' expectations seem to be aligning more closely with what the market truly is. In many ways, a home buyer's opportunities are improving the longer they delay. And so that leaves us in kind of a limbo. Buyers have the advantage but aren't pulling the trigger. Sellers are listing but don't have the leverage. And policymakers They've made a lot of promises, but not enough to really shift buyer sentiment. Until buyers believe that prices have stopped falling, until sellers accept that we're not going back to peak pricing, and until the economy shows a clear sign that we're through the turbulence, we might stay stuck. Not falling off a cliff, but stuck in real estate purgatory. So that's it for me this month. If you like real estate content, my name is Jonathan Lee. I'm a Toronto realtor based out of Etobicoke. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Cheers.